know a lot. I believe the game on both sides of the ball starts up front. So when you have a big line that can control the line of scrimmage, like them, it creates a lot of issues. They can run the ball, they can protect the quarterback, so it presents a lot of challenges for us on our end.
On that note, what gives you confidence in terms of the progress you've seen from the defensive front over the course of the time that you've been here, that they're ready for that sort of challenge?
We're prepared. We've known what the challenge is going to be since I got the job here. So, we've been preparing not just for LSU, but just for the entire season that we have to be prepared for.
Coach, when you hear, players on LSU, Will Campbell specifically, just saying it's going to be a fist fight and other comments, is that something you talk about with your team and you use as motivation, or do you guys kind of turn on the blinders and stay focused on the conditions?
I've been game planning, so I haven't seen it yet. I just heard about it just a while ago for the first time. So I'm just focused on us just getting better every day, so we can go out there and just put our best effort and our best brand out there September 1st.
Dan, how important just has Greedy been in game planning for you guys, seeing this version of this LSU offense last year, just in general?
Important. You got Greedy, you got D-Nick, so you have a couple guys who played against LSU this past year. So obviously there's going to be some scheme things that are different, but just from a personnel standpoint, just from a what to expect standpoint, they've helped a lot.
What has Greedy just added to this room, since he's come in, and what have you've been really excited about him?
A lot of experience, a high football IQ, and then again, he's coming from a different scheme. He's coming from a place that did it completely different. So he's done a great job of learning how we do things, but he's also been able to add some things as well.
Has there been a fall camp and off-season defensive MVP from your group?
There is not. All the guys have been doing good.
What are you most curious to see against an opponent compared to just practice against yourself so much?
Just guys hitting somebody else. In the NFL, you scrimmage against other teams. You have preseason games. In college, you have all spring ball and all camp. You're just hitting the same people every single day. It gets to the point where you're just ready to hit somebody else.
Coach, you guys play in 5 days. How are you feeling, and what has you excited about the season?
Feel prepared and just excited about obviously LSU, but then just going into the Big Ten and then all the big time games.
LSU ran the ball so much with Jaden Daniels last year. They returned a little bit of experience in that run game. What have you seen in terms of out of their running backs that's kind of impressed you?
They have big physical backs. They have a big offensive line, and they have big tight ends. So they present a lot of issues in the run game.
Fair to say it's a good test of the physicality and bulk that you guys have added.
Great test for us. Great test.
You don't have a lot of tape on Garrett Nussmeier, but in what ways has he stood out to you on film?
He has a very strong arm. He can make every pass on the field. He doesn't have a lot of playing experience, but when he is out there, you can't tell. He plays with a lot of poise. He handles himself well in the pocket. He extends plays well. He's always looking to keep the play alive, throwing the ball downfield, so he presents a lot of issues.
Do you guys feel like you have enough tape on him to feel like you really do know him, or is it going in at least a little bit blind?
Anytime you're going in and it's really his first season starting, obviously, you just make best with the information that you have.
Does LSU remind you of anyone you game planned for last year, and why?
Not really. They're a little different than any team in the Pac-12. I think part of it's probably just being in the SEC, a different conference, but they create a lot of issues because, like I said, they're very dominant up front. They have big tight ends. They have a lot of speed outside, so they can attack you just about every angle.
They made clear that they intend to run the ball. Just how prepared do you feel like you guys' run defense in the front is for that kind of test, and the linebackers as well?
We're prepared. Like I said, we've known what the challenge is going to be all off season, so we're just focused on getting better each day, which I feel like the guys have gotten. So we're just excited to finally get to go out there and do it against somebody else.
How do you feel like the overall team's kind of run defensive scheme has progressed since we took over?
Good. The guys had a great spring, but more importantly, the guys did a really good job in June and in July, staying locked in the playbook, because when we came back for camp, we didn't just pick up where we left off in spring. We were further along, which I was impressed with, which helped accelerate the installs in camp.
Both Kelly and Easton came in and kind of emerged as leaders, as new guys here. Are they similar, like the same guy, or
they're different? They have different personalities, but they're similar in the sense that when they got here, they didn't just have an effect on the defense, but really the entire team. They got here right after me, but if I didn't know that, I would have thought they were here their entire time. they had an influence, like I said, not just on their side of the ball, but the entire team.
With Achille, what stands out to you about just the way he plays?
The versatility, he's smart. He came from a very good defense at Oregon State, and he's just a guy who can really be the quarterback of the back end.
Let's see one more.
What have you seen from Rayshawn Davis, and just kind of where do you think he's going to make his most impact on the field this year?
He's improved a lot since spring. Like I said, all the guys, they had a good spring, especially him. He got better over June and July, and he's had a great camp, so we're excited to see what he does.
Thank you, Coach.